Hi, it's Tuesday the 15th of August. It's a beautiful sunny day, as you can tell, but a little bit windy, so hopefully you can hear me okay. My first time here in about 2 weeks and I'm pleasantly surprised. It's not as overgrown as I thought it would be. There are some weeds to get rid of, but not too bad. But I'm really chuffed. There's a lot ready to harvest. So I've only had my plot since April. Things were kind of thrown in the ground. I just wanted to make use of the space this year. And I'm really happy with what I've managed to harvest so far. So I thought today's video would be all about harvesting and how individual varieties have done and what I plan to do differently next year. I'm going to make a start with these tomatoes. This is a variety called Totem. It's one of my favourites. So I initially bought a plant, I think it was last year, from B&Q, and what I did is I saved the seeds at the end of the year, and I've sown them again this year and they've done really well. I'm really happy with them. They're a little bit bigger than they were last year, but I'm alright with that. That's good for me. Some of them are smaller, some of them are bigger. They've done really well. I've already harvested some from these. I've got them growing in the garden at home as well. They're great for pots, and my one regret this year is that I didn't grow more of them at the plot. So I've got 3 kind of crammed in here. I've not once done anything to them. I put some stakes in, but I've never removed any side shoots or anything. They're looking a bit yellowy now. I don't know if this is just age or if maybe blight's setting in. I'm not sure. I think it could just be age at the minute because the stems are looking okay. It is August, so we've still got a little bit to go. Yeah, I think next year I'm gonna fill one of these beds with just this variety. They've done really well at the plot. I mean, they're low maintenance. I've not needed to do anything to them, so they're great for areas where you're not going to care every day. The high maintenance ones, the taller ones, I have at home. So let's get a bowl and let's start harvesting. I mean, they're absolutely fine. So some of my varieties at home have had a lot of blossom end rot. I've really struggled with the infrequent watering this year. So we had a bit of a heat wave in June in the UK, and then we just had July is full of rain. So a lot of things have ended up with blossom end rot, but you can see these are absolutely fine. So I think they're worth growing just for that alone. Let's see. I tend to pick my tomatoes even if they're just on a little bit of the orange side, so like these, because they will quite happily ripen at home, and it saves me missing them if I don't get here for another week or 2. And they taste just fine. That one came off really easily then. There's any more. Another one there. There. Some more under here. I think that's it. Yeah, so I think this is the second harvest from these plants. It's not too bad, and you can see there's a lot left on here. So not really any more flowers, so I think this is probably the last of it. But that's okay. Say they're dwarf and they take up very little room. I am really happy with those this year. Next up is French beans. So the dwarf ones have suffered a little bit with slug damage, as you can see. We do have a couple to harvest. There was a lot more plants in here, but they also got eaten. And there is some mutant slugs on this plot, I swear, they're massive. Don't know if you can see any, it has rained recently. But we also have some climbing French beans, and these have fared a little bit better. So again, I've not been here in about 2 weeks, and they're still looking okay. We did harvest a few at the time. Yeah, no, they're doing well. I've almost got them all. I've got a couple more on this side. I'm really chuffed. So I think that's it. So I've got all of these French beans, both dwarf and climbing, from this simple frame using 4 bamboo canes and some string. So I think next year I'm going to do exactly the same, but I'm going to maybe try and plant more so that I can make use of this middle bit perhaps. But still, again, we've harvested from this already, so I don't think that's too bad. And I've got another frame that side, so I'm going to head over there now. This side hasn't done quite as well as the other one. You can see I did have plants all around here, but they've all been eaten by slugs. So that side done really well with the climbers, and this side hasn't done too bad with the dwarf beans, but I do think a lot of them's been eaten. See, look, something's been at that. I don't know if you can see that. And this is the other side, so you can see some of them have got quite big, some little ones. Oh, look at that, there you go. You can go for a flying lesson. Plenty to harvest here. Oh, look at all these. Brilliant. So we did have a week of some sunny days, and I think that's really helped everything. And this side here, so I think the dwarf beans were called Stanley, and I can't remember this climbing one, and it appears I didn't put any signages anywhere. So I will update it in the caption when I've got home to let you know. And there we have it, one big basket of French beans. That will do us for a while. Another crop that's done really well this year is broad beans. So I've already had a huge harvest of these this year, and I've got lots more to get. So I've got them in 3 different areas, there, and here. So I don't actually know the name of this variety. A plot neighbour gave some seeds to me earlier this year. So I usually grow Aquadulce Claudia, I think it is, and I normally sow them in autumn and grow them in the greenhouse, plant them out in spring. This time I was given these around April, May time, and I planted them straight out in the plot, not really expecting much, and I think they've been better than the ones at home, and they've actually not grown as tall either. So you can see I put these stakes in, and I did put some string in for support. However, I didn't carry on with it because it wasn't really needed. They're quite dwarf in stature, but loads and loads of broad beans. They've done really well. So what I'm going to do this year is these plants here, I'm going to just leave them as they are, and I'm going to let the broad beans ripen and kind of go brown and dry on the plant, and then I'll harvest them and save the seeds for next year. And I think I'm going to plant them at exactly the same time, maybe a little bit earlier. I might even stagger it. Grow more of them, and instead of spreading them out, I think I'll just do one bed dedicated to them. So I made a small amount of room in the basket for the broad beans. So this is the other side, and you can see we've got a few left on here, so I'm going to harvest and get all these, and then I'll take the plants out because they are pretty much done, as you can tell. I think that's rust. They're not looking too great. That's fine, they've done their job. Lots and lots of blackberries as well, all along the fence. I think some of these we've missed, so they've gone a bit funky, but there's still lots to pick that are okay. Not a huge harvest, but a lot of them are soft and just disintegrated when I touch them. Still, Flo will be happy with those. So I think again with beetroot, I think I'm just going to be a bit better about where I plant them. again. I just don't like things spread out in different beds. I would rather have it all in one place. That's not a bad one. So I'll do that next year. Should be better at sewing. So this year I tried to direct sew, and I'm sorry, I know there's a lot of people that love it. I just don't get on with it. There's so many gaps. Whereas when I sew in modules or multi-sew in mushroom pots, which I like to do, and then plant out, they just seem to do a lot better. So yeah, I think that's it for sewing beetroot direct. Next up is spring onions. So I'm not normally very good at growing these. I had a really good year back in 2020. Since then I've struggled to get them very big, but these have done brilliant. So you can see there's some blank patches. Now I did sow them in rows, all different varieties. However, some of the seeds were old, and you can tell because some of them haven't germinated at all. This row the best, and then at the back very sporadic. So what these ones were, oh, they're actually shallots from seed. Yeah, they did not do very well. This variety is Slender Star. So this one will be on the forever to grow list. The one at the back is, let's have a look, Salad Onion Ishikuru. That's done okay. So yeah, I'm really happy with those. Let's harvest some, shall we? I think I've ended up taking a few here. Oh. If you can see that, there you go. I am pretty happy with that. So I think we'll be having a salad for dinner. Oh, the roots are proper stuck in there. So this bed just has normal compost, and I think I put some manure in here as well, which they've obviously liked. I've done very little to them. That's a little one. Very little to them. I've hardly watered because I'm pretty lazy when it comes to that. I've not been very well this year, so I haven't fed them with any liquid feed. We actually made pad thai yesterday with some spring onions we had at home. We might have to make another one again because it would be quite nice with all these fresh ones. I love the shape of these ones as well. So previously my spring onions would be like really skinny and then have a big like little bulbous thing on the end, whereas these actually look like spring onions. So I am really chuffed with those. So yeah, I think I'll stick to one of these smaller beds and I will get newer seeds. The cabbages are looking good as well. I actually think we've probably got a few to harvest, but I'm probably going to go for that middle one. It's bigger and it's got some slug damage at the top, so I think I'll get that one out, because once I peel back some layers it'll be fine underneath. I think these smaller ones I'll leave to grow on. I might take that one as well, I'm not sure. I've got one at home as well, so I don't want to end up with too much cabbage in one go. So I'll leave some to just have to carry on growing. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. So yeah, that one's looking good actually. Yeah, let's look there. Not too bad though. Another one. But a few of these layers and it'll be absolutely fine. So something else I've always struggled with is leeks. I don't know why, but normally I can never get them bigger than kind of pencil thickness. This year I actually got some seedlings from B&Q, which you'll remember from previous videos on YouTube, and they've done really well. Again, I've not done anything to them. I think this bed did have manure put into it with the compost, and it was no dig, so I've used some. Actually no, it wasn't no dig, this one wasn't. I didn't use cardboard with this one. I weeded it and then put manure and compost down. Then what I did is I got a broom handle and I stabbed it really deep, and then I didn't fill the hole, so I just put the little seedlings in, and then I watered it and left it so that they can grow thicker. So this year I've worked on thickness. I'm not sure how deep they'll go, so I think next year to work on is to get the white bit higher, which I've seen some people use toilet roll tubes and all sorts. So yeah, all in good time, I will get there. Hopefully next year I'll have the perfect leek harvest. So I don't know if these are quite ready yet. I think they've got signs of rust as well, but I thought, you know what, I'm gonna pick one of them just to see what it's looking like. So I don't know how well this is going to come out. Oh, straight away actually. I think that might have been ready to come out. It's got a bit of, oh, it's got a bit of white rot under there, so maybe I ought to harvest some of the others. But yeah, look at that. I'm really happy with that. To say they went in April as little tiny seedlings, and get a nice meal out of a few of those. I'll pull another one up and see. Oh, it's a bit tough for this one. Might have to. Oh, what's that? That's some big roots, that one. There you can see it's kind of grown into the soil underneath, which is a bit more compacted than the compost. But again, I mean, to be honest, I'm quite happy with that white bit. Maybe a little bit deeper next year, and try the toilet roll tubes. All in all, I think that's a success. I'll get one more. You have to heave. Not bad. I am happy with those. Another success for the allotment this year. Next on the list to harvest is kale. So again, this has done really well, and I think it's because of this black scaffold netting. It's my first year trying it. I got it off eBay. I can't remember how much it was now. It wasn't too much, and it's just, yeah, it's done really well. It's kept the butterflies off, so I've got no caterpillars. There is a bit of slug damage, but it's not too bad. And I've been harvesting from the bottom up, and I've been roasting it with olive oil, salt, pepper, and it's just delicious. So I'm going to take some more now, and then I think that's it for now. It's amazing how much you can get done in 4 months when you put your mind to it, and I probably haven't done as much as I could have done, really. So yeah, I'm really chuffed that I got my plot when I did. I think I was quite lucky. I felt at the time like it was a little bit late in the season. I felt like I'd missed a lot of the seed starting, but actually it just goes to show it doesn't matter, and worst case you can get your seedlings from the shop, the garden centre. So yeah, I am chuffed. One happy girly. I'm going to take all of this home, prepare it, do some pickling, and have a lovely dinner. Hope you're all well, happy growing. And also, if you have any questions about the varieties that I'm growing, anything else, then just let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you.